Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike Fresh, and with me,
Brian Murphy from the world-famous Monster Factory, seeing our current heavyweight champion go up against his tag team partner, Brett Waters versus Goldie.
Brett Waters and Goldie, they have such an amazing history here at the world-famous Monster Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey. Whoa, Mike! What a great crossbody there.
Absolutely one of the top athletes, pure athletes here at the factory. Goldie appeared many times, appearing on Apple TV.
Beautiful shoulder breaker.
Brett Waters going for the cover here. Oh!
Not even a one count. Brett and Goldie, tell me a little bit about their history. Tell me a little bit about their tag team. What do you think would lead to this vicious beating at the hand of Wet Brett?
Well, over the past several years, the most dominant tag team have been these two, the Golden Era. Goldie became the MFPW heavyweight champion, but now that title is held by Brett. The series belongs to Brett. One up on Goldie. Goldie trying to get his victory back here, but he's up against this Tilt-A-Whirl DDT.
Beautiful! Somebody needs to check on Goldie or start ending this match. Going for the cover. Two count. That was so close.
And look at Brett holding on. What a technician.
Just drives it right into a submission hold. Referees checking. This could be very close to the end. I don't know how much more Goldie can take.
Hammerlock applied tight. Now the turnbuckle. Oh!
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Getting a little bit of momentum back, holding that arm. Missile drop kick.
And look at Goldie holding that arm very rigid, in place. Still able to get him up.
Up on the shoulders. Brett slides across the back, working that arm beautifully. Brett has not stopped attacking that arm. It's hanging at Goldie's side.
You see that right arm doing a lot of the work. Two arms better than one in that exchange.
Goldie giving it everything that he has, trying to fire back. Kick to the back of the head. He's got him up on his shoulders.
Looking for the Ushi Karushi.
Beautiful. He needs to get that cover quick. Brett Goldie for the win. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike Fresh. We are at the world-famous Monster Factory, and in the ring right now is Brittany Blake, one of the original members of the Awakening that has been tearing a line of terror through combat or Capital Championship Wrestling, fighting Miranda Vignette. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. The voice of a generation, Pete Rosado here. Proud to be at the Monster Factory. And listen, this is a very interesting matchup. Brittany Blake, the veteran, has been around for a long time, has gone up against a litany of opponents, and tonight looking to add Miranda Vignette to that list of defeated opponents.
And Brittany Blake has been one of the mainstays in the New Jersey, Philadelphia area for a long time. She might look tiny, but she is mighty. Miranda Vignette looks to make her name here tonight off of Brittany Blake.
And she'll definitely make a name if
quick cover. One count.
She'll definitely make a name if she's able to get a pinfall victory or submission victory against a Brittany Blake. But again, Brittany Blake has been counted out and overlooked in so many of her matches and has found a way to come out with a victory nonetheless, time after time.
Miranda Vignette bringing her back down with a quick cover. Two count. And Miranda Vignette, the girl from Philly, she said very, very clearly before this match today, if I say Philadelphia, she's going to kick a hole in me to the curb.
Well, listen, I'd be very scared of Miranda Vignette if she said that. I mean, the city is named Philadelphia, so I don't understand why you wouldn't call it what it's named. If your mama named it that, that's what I'm going to call it.
And right now, Miranda Vignette showing that dominance that she wanted to, but a quick enziguri
gave
by
Brittany Blake too much space.
Beautiful check into the turnbuckle, trying to slow Miranda Vignette down, making or Brittany wants to make her wrestle her match at her pace, because that is what a veteran does.
And that's the difference right here. That cover here.
2 count.
Brittany Blake has been around for a very long time. She knows she's got to keep up the offense. Miranda Vignette was too slow. Gave Brittany Blake, I apologize, too much space earlier in the matchup, and Brittany was able to capitalize. It's not what you want to do. You want to stay on the attack, stay on the offensive, ground your opponent by any means necessary.
These two ladies just some vicious blows. Beautiful power bomb cover. 2 3/4.
Miranda's got to get right back on it. It is the power game that's going to win her this, and she's got to not let Brittany get a breath in edgewise.
And Miranda really wanted to show dominance, and she's been doing a great job. But Brittany, with an excellent tilt-a-whirl, going for a submission maneuver here.
And look how quickly she transitioned. The quickness in the transition from the tilt-a-whirl to the submission.
And it's all over.
That's what we're talking about right there. The quickness from her transitioning from that tilt-a-whirl to the submission. And welcome to the world's famous Monster Factory, the voice of a generation, Pete Rosado, alongside Brian Murphy, for this matchup between Squid Sterling and C.R. O'Malley on the outside versus Marty Clay, the Appalachian stud.
And Sterling starting off with some disrespect, throwing that jacket at his opponent Clay, applying that devious headlock.
I got Squid with the headlock here. He's played across the nation, led by his manager, C.R. O'Malley. He calls himself the musical masterpiece. And when he says he's played across, he's gotten victories all across the country, opponent after opponent. Looking to add the Appalachian stud to the list, but with a drop kick like that.
Clay refuses to say die. He's ready to step up to the challenge. Oh, and take him down.
Marty Clay, when he was asked where he got his formal wrestling training from, he said, what do you mean formal wrestling training? I spent time out in the forest, out in the mountains of the Appalachians. He says he's actually wrestled a bear once while out in the mountains.
He looks like a mountain of a man for sure. Great physical capabilities, great work, and oh, you see the power coming off of that shoulder block.
But, you know, one of the things you got to see here, and you see this a lot of times, a lot of young professionals here,
Oh.
That's the thing, the ring awareness, the lack of it. He didn't understand where O'Malley was, and he walked right into him.
Sterling taking full advantage.
And on the pinfall there, but a 1 count only. Again, another pinfall. And a 1 count again. Marty Clay kicking out with authority.
I think he almost feels insulted that it wasn't that easy for him. You saw the look come across his face as he went for that second pinfall.
Anytime you have a manager on the outside, whether it be a valet or a manager, you always got to be aware of where they are. It's almost like a handicap match. But again, O'Malley's smart enough. The ref doesn't see it. The ref can't throw you out of ringside.
Again, you see the power of Clay able to push himself back up against Sterling. Oh! But Sterling refuses to allow him to gain some leverage.
But Sterling's got to stay on top of him. He's giving Marty Clay too much time to breathe in between maneuvers, and that could come back. We saw it earlier in an earlier match when an opponent gave, you know, their opponent too much time to breathe. The competitor gave the opponent too much time to breathe, and he came back to bite them. We could see that here if Squid Sterling doesn't stay on the attack.
You're certainly right. These are powerful punches, but one has to wonder, are you allowing Clay to regain his cardio? It seems that's the case.
Playing to the fans here in attendance at the Monster Factory, and he gave Clay enough of an opening to get in 2 uppercuts and a big high knee there.
Man, and that's how tall he is. He just had to raise his knee there, but oh, now getting the eyes raked.
Went for a close eye. No! Tackled him out of his boots there.
And watch how he drives immediately through, fully through his opponent.
Up and down the hard way onto the lower side of the back, covered by Marty Clay.
And now C.R. O'Malley stopping him in his tracks. Once again, interjecting himself into this match. Clay can't believe it, but Sterling's thinking.
And as much as I disagree with it, that's what O'Malley's paid for.
Was trying to tune up the band of sorts, but took out his own manager.
Sterling took out O'Malley, and now Marty Clay looking to take out Squid Sterling.
Down he goes! Man, what a crash into the mat.
Hit a low note that I'm sure Sterling doesn't like the sound of, and Marty Clay with the huge victory here at the world-famous Monster Factory.
What a match.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mike Fresh. With me is Brian Murphy. We are live from the world-famous Monster Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey. How you doing today, Brian?
I'm doing fantastic with the culmination of a rivalry here. The man from world-renowned Christian Rocco being replaced by Chris Desmond. And here we are to see who truly is better.
These two have been going back and forth, it seems like forever now. We could watch them just continue to wrestle each other for years, and they know each other so well. Look at the way that they're just telegraphing each other's moves.
Sending Chris Desmond across the ring now, Christian Rocco. Man, and you can see they truly do almost have an answer for every single move they can dish out.
It really is move for move. This rivalry is so deep in blood. These two gentlemen just want to hurt each other.
Man, you can see
quick
the look
cover.
of anguish.
And look at the way he just ground his face into the canvas.
You're certainly right. Vicious streak from Chris Desmond these days.
And just hammering the back of Christian Rocco's head. Going up for a vicious kick. He is just destroying that back. Again, 2 count, and watch that. Every single time he goes for the cover, he's grinding that face in, just showing a complete lack of respect for the wild child.
I have to imagine it's twofold. It's both to gain an advantage on the pin, but also that psychological warfare. Trying to just wear him down on both fronts, and those kicks of Chris Desmond are the most lethal that the Monster Factory has to offer.
I can tell you one thing. It looks like Chris Desmond wants to beat the tar out of Christian Rocco, and right now it looks like Christian Rocco is getting a little bit of fire lit underneath of him and cut off.
He is looking to extinguish that fire, trying to snuff out the light.
Look at the way he is just trying to gasp for breath over there in a last-ditch effort to get Desmond off of him, fighting back a little bit.
Good awareness on the part of Christian Rocco, seeing Desmond charging back in, and now on the top
He needs to be
rope.
careful. Oh! That's the wild child.
Picture perfect.
If there was a target, 2.5. If there was a target on his face, he couldn't have painted that even better.
And what a competitor Chris Desmond is to take a full force kick like that and still kick out.
Chris Desmond is running off of pure hatred.
Christian Rocco has a lot to be spiteful of.
Beautiful.
That looks like it did some damage to Chris Desmond as well.
It did a little bit of damage to Chris Desmond, but Chris Rocco is out. That has to be it. 3 count.
The most deadly move at the world-famous Monster Factory.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike Fresh here at the world-famous Monster Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey. Right now, we have a blood feud going on in the ring. Oliver versus Mark Raspa Jr. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing well here at the world-famous Monster Factory. We've seen a great number of matches tonight, but I've been really looking forward to this one. Heard a lot of great things about Oliver here tonight.
Mark Raspa Jr., a light heavyweight, a little bit of a technical wrestler, going for a quick roll-up. 2 count. That was a beautiful stack there.
Definitely was. Used the leverage there to really keep the leverage on Oliver. Another one there, and again, look at the way he's utilizing the leverage, almost like his body's a fulcrum and making sure to get each and every one, keep the shoulders down. Another one, 2 count.
Now, if you came in and you are just the average fan, and this is the first time you're catching Monster Factory Pro Wrestling, you might have thought that Oliver was going to have the edge over Mark Raspa Jr. He just started getting Mark Raspa where he wanted him. This scrappy little Mark Raspa does not give up. Oliver is so brutal.
And that's what I was talking about earlier when I said I heard a lot of great things about him. The great things weren't exactly glowing, like people were happy to say them, but they were talking about experiences with Oliver in the ring. Brutal. When he gets on the attack, he does not let up. He targets a limb. We see it here. He's targeting that leg and that knee of Mark Raspa.
Beautiful up kick, trying to finally get Oliver off of him, fighting into the ropes.
But now on one leg.
Mark Raspa with a reversal. Tries to chop him down. Oliver's got him. He's got him up. Huge slam. That was a beautiful slam. That might be it for Raspa.
Took a lot out of Oliver, though.
If Oliver can capitalize, that might have been it. Not going for the cover might have been his mistake here.
Well, it took a lot out of him. You saw they took a big gasp of breath after that.
What it looks like is Oliver's going for dominance. He's not going for the win. He just wants to beat everything out of Mark.
And that may be his undoing because, again, at the end of the day, the name of the game is get the 1, 2, 3, get the pinfall, the submission, find a way to get a win. And if Oliver's just here to inflict pain, which I know is his M.O., at the end of the day, he's doing it wrong.
Mark Raspa with a beautiful lariat, back elbow, just flattening him.
And that adrenaline is flowing through Raspa. He's not even feeling the pain
Sling blade
in that knee anymore. He is just going shot for shot here. And he's staying on top, but he may be running out of breath, running out of energy. At some point, the heart stops beating as fast as you want it to. And look, right there, Oliver hooked that bad knee and right back on the attack to the knee he injured earlier in the match.
Beautiful job going for that submission. Oliver, so much more agile. That is it.
Smartness out of Oliver going right back to that knee. That's the sadistic nature we heard about Oliver earlier tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike Fresh.
The voice of a generation, Pete Rosado. We have more coming. Welcome back to the world-famous Monster Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey. The voice of a generation, Pete Rosado, alongside Brian Murphy. And we're here in this matchup already in progress. Marvelous, the light of all there is, versus classy Max Sterling. And I know, Brian, cover here by Sterling. You and Marvelous go way back. Tell me a little bit more about Marvelous here.
Well, these are two veterans here at the world-famous Monster Factory. Oh, Marvelous, able to lean into that light, lean into that inspiration, that connection that he has with the crowd here. Max Sterling thinking he's better than everybody, better dressed, better groomed. But now, Marvelous is getting the better of Max Sterling.
I mean, the man out here literally wrestling in a pair of $750 dress pants here tonight. I heard his wrestling boots, pure Italian leather, cover by Max Sterling, and a kick out at 2.
And I think we can see some of the dynamic emerging, some of the fast-paced cruiserweight action coming from Marvelous, but the power from Max Sterling.
Cover here by Sterling. 2 count. Listen, you talk about the fast-paced cruiserweight action that Marvelous is known of, but Max Sterling isolating the lumbar spine of Marvelous. And once you do that, you take out the legs, you take out the SI joint, and it's going to be very hard for him to do any kind of flying after that.
Absolutely crumbling to the ground now, and you can see him holding his midsection, treating it tender, nursing it, trying to get a little bit of blood flowing back into it. Max Sterling won't relent, though.
No, and he's not going to. Continuing to go after that back there with that beautiful side slam. He's got the height advantage. He's got the power advantage. And Marvelous right now in a bad position on the mat, having to fight up against the taller opponent. And listen, you heard one of probably the greatest Jedi in the world say it. When you have the high ground, that's what matters. And Marvelous fighting up, not good.
And you saw the pace slowing a little bit in favor of Max Sterling, now applying that bear hug. Look at him wrenching, throwing him around like a rag doll.
And again, right back in that lumbar spine, that L3, L4 joint, the vertebrae in the back, and that's going to control everything. It's going to make him feel like he can't breathe. It's going to hurt his legs. It's going to hurt the lower back. It's going to be very hard for Marvelous to continue if Max continues the assault on that lower back.
But you saw the difference there. Marvelous relying on that connection with the crowd, powering out of that bear hug. Now finding the striking combination. Look at this. Lethal, lethal.
And that speed just confused Max Sterling. Didn't know what direction Marvelous was coming from there.
Big back elbow. Ending with that enziguri, going for the cover now.
Cover on Sterling, 1, 2, and a 3 out of Marvelous. What a shot with that enziguri, kept him down for 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike Fresh. With me is Brian Murphy. We're at the world-famous Monster Factory to watch a battle of the super heavyweights.
Now the Monster Factory is known for creating quite literally monsters, but these two guys, look at them as they get down. Still the height of a normal standing person, crouched down.
This is more of a sumo start than it is a wrestling start. Typically, a traditional wrestling match is collar and elbow. This was all about pushing to see which man was going to gain ground, and both of them standing tall.
Well, let me tell you about Liam Mason in the shirt. Oh, going off collegiate background in wrestling. And now Justin Santos able to get his opponent down to the ground. And you see the shock on Mason's face.
One of the things I can tell you, Justin Santos looks like he is a strategist. He has a stop for everything that Liam Mason is throwing at him. And it looks like these big men might be doing a good old-fashioned test of strength.
See who gets the better of this exchange.
I got a question. Which one would you want to be on the end of? Do you want to go up against Liam Mason, or do you want to go up against Justin Santos if you're going to test of strength?
Oh, Santos, he's got an advantage of 6'6", 415. That's a big dude.
That is one big boy.
But Mason, you know, he's got that collegiate background. He knows a little bit of that tangible physical strategy. Oh, look at the roll coming from the big man there.
I'm glad that they reinforced these rings.
I know that the Monster Factory certainly needs, especially with, again, the battle of the super
Going for the claw.
Imagine the grip strength. Pressing down on that pressure point enough to make any grown man cry.
Just fighting through it. You know, normally I would say that Liam Mason would just run through most of his opponents, but this is not just an opponent. This is a roadblock of a man that he has in front of him.
All right, think of all the competitors here. They were meant to meet in this ring, and you saw him maybe even...
He's got his back. He's got his back. He's going to try to squeeze. Does he have enough leverage on there? I don't think he does.
And look, that's how big they are. They almost cleared the top turnbuckle. That is amazing.
I've seen only a handful of matches that have broken wrestling ropes, and these guys might do it. Those huge, meaty paws.
Chops reverberating off the walls here in Paulsboro, New Jersey, and a headbutt sends down Mason.
And I don't think we've seen Justin Santos leave his feet yet. The big man has had an answer for everything.
Yep. And now Santos closing in, perhaps looking to put away his opponent. Look at him lifting up. Lifting up Mason.
Huge splash.
You saw him go straight down on the knees. Maybe took a little bit of damage there. And Mason is your victor.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike Fresh. With me is Pete Rosado here at the world-famous Monster Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey. Right now in the ring, we have a former middleweight medallion champion, Hyena Hex, taking on the beefy man, Tyson McQuade.
And you can see that amateur wrestling background coming out of Tyson McQuade immediately. Hyena Hex went, I'll cover here by Hex. He went for those ankles, and McQuade just dropped him. McQuade dropped down and got him in a beautiful Greco-Roman hold.
Hyena Hex might look like the smaller man, but again, former middleweight medallion holder. And I would say, if you ask Hex, almost a deity.
Yeah, right now he's praying to some deity as that lower back and the bottom of the rib cage gets crushed against the thighs of McQuade. State football champion, all-state player, Greco-Roman amateur
Beautiful
wrestling
drop
background.
kick by Hyena Hex, flattening the bigger man. He does not take anything from anyone. Hyena Hex has a ton of aggression, a ton of hate. He is just one of these gentlemen that just doesn't stop. Beautiful double stomp. McQuade might have the technical. Hyena Hex has the mystical.
Well, Hex going for the cover here, and only it took a lazy cover. You talk about the hatred, you talk about the aggression, and that's what he's going to need. We haven't seen it yet. We have seen it, though, out of McQuade. McQuade is looking for that big victory. As you said, a victory over the former middleweight medallion holder would be huge.
Going for the big bite on the neck. See, Hyena Hex, that wasn't a lazy cover. That was a he doesn't respect McQuade cover. Going for another one. This time he had a little bit more stack on that. McQuade rolls through, and Hex with a beautiful submission locked in.
That's really a good move out of Hex there. McQuade trying to use that amateur wrestling background to roll out, and it ended up costing him.
Hyena Hex controlling this match, slowing the bigger man down.
Oh, here we go. He's got it locked in on the
Beautiful belly to
suplex.
back. Beautiful belly to belly.
Absolute textbook suplex from McQuade there. Locking those arms.
Just using his body. Quick cover.
And
beautiful.
It's skills like that that won McQuade a state championship in amateur wrestling, and it given him a huge victory over former middleweight medallion holder. Welcome back to the world-famous Monster Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey. The voice of a generation, Pete Rosado, once again alongside Brian Murphy. And what a matchup, Brian, we have here. Ultimo Phoenix versus the unaging Ethan Cross. And, man, the story out of unaging Ethan Cross. The man started wrestling at the age of 37 years old after spending 13 years in prison for a crime that many said he didn't commit.
It's certainly a case of Benjamin Button. Every year he seems to get better in the ring, more nimble, more agile. But look at the size of Ultimo Phoenix. He has a tough challenge in the form of his opponent, the Firebird.
Ultimo Phoenix talked about his lucha libre inspiration, inspired by the great Mexican wrestlers of his day.
And check out the nimbleness of Cross, able to get up and over for that leapfrog, but now being directed by Ultimo. Oh, Phoenix.
And you got to think, Phoenix has got that size and strength advantage. Usually when you think of a luchador, you think of that fast-paced, high-flying style. Yet Ultimo Phoenix coming with a more power-based style, using his size and his strength. And look, could have easily dislocated 2 or 3 vertebrae in the mid-spine of Cross with that whip to the corner.
And even though he's wearing a mask, you can fully tell not a change in his expression, unfeeling, like a Terminator, willing to just zero in on Cross.
He has said, when I spoke to him earlier today, like the Phoenix, he will burn every opponent in his path until he reaches his ultimate goal. And you see the pace that he has, so methodical with every attack on Cross.
Cross is not, he's very familiar, actually. He's very familiar with uphill battles, willing to build his life again, and I think he's got the determination.
Big splash, covered by Phoenix, and a 2 count only. Kicking out is Ethan Cross.
See, you can't put him down. You can't tell him to quit. He's leaving everything in his path, but he goes.
Dumped him on the side of his head. His eyes glassed over. Cover 3 by Phoenix. What a victory by the Ultimate Phoenix.
A compelling force.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike Fresh, live from the world-famous Monster Factory with the bearded, beautiful bastard Brian Murphy. And right now in the ring, we have Xander Alexander versus Stevie Brooks.
I tell you, if you had to pick 2 more opposite people, I don't think you could get a better matchup than this. Xander Alexander, going up against the fierce Stevie Brooks.
And she completely snaked that. Did you see the way she completely got out of that armhole?
Xander returning in full, but it's because she's not like other girls. She likes wrestling, not like other girls.
Well, I wish I could find me one of them. She is fighting back. She looks so happy and sparkly versus the vicious Xander Alexander, and she is bringing it to him. This is just a submission clinic.
The match has come down to fighting over that arm, rolling into a pin there. And Xander, he's been on a warpath.
He's been on a warpath, but I think he might have bitten off a little bit more than he could chew with Stevie Brooks tonight.
You cannot underestimate her at all. The perseverance, the power that she's been able.
And he just picked her up and dumped her. He does not care. Look at the way he's just going off on this crowd. And that may have cost him.
And it's the relationship with the crowd that also goes very dichotomous, very opposite. Stevie Brooks is beloved by the world-famous Monster Factory. Xander Alexander, not so much.
Beautiful. She ran over him. If you would have told me I saw that when I first saw these two walking in the ring, I was not expecting the dominance by Stevie Brooks.
And you can see a little bit of spirit coming out of her. At first she came in smiling, but now it's a look of joy mixed in with that hatred. Now holding on to the hair.
Xander Alexander's just a bastard the way he's coming after her.
Man, and the vocal cords have to be crushed on Stevie Brooks. No more Taylor Swift singing for her. No more karaoke.
This crowd hates them some Xander Alexander.
And now
scoop slam.
See him
going for the cover. 2 count.
Brooks staying alive. The scrunchy, the structural integrity starting to fall apart a little bit.
If you looked at the look on Xander Alexander's face, he was furious. And a beautiful spear by Stevie Brooks going for the cover. 3 count.
Caught him off guard, but hey, it made it happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mike Fresh. That's Brian Murphy. This is Monster Factory. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world-famous Monster Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey. In the ring, we have Wonder Boy Brian Morris taking it straight to Travis Jacobs. I'm Mike Fresh. That is Pete Rosado.
Listen, they always tell you nice guys finish last, and Jacobs had to learn that the hard way. Brian Morris went right on the attack. Jacobs trying to extend the hand of respect early.
Brian Morris is nothing but a little pit bull. All he cares about is what his agenda is. I don't even think he cares about winning or losing. I just think that he cares that whatever he wants to happen in this match is going to happen.
Well, let's hope that he wants winning the match to happen, because that's the ultimate goal here. So let's hope that's on his agenda. We know definitely it's on the agenda of Travis Jacobs. Was disrespected by the way that Morris kicked away his hand.
Beautiful scoop slam going for the pin. Only a 1 count. Brian Morris, head of the world-renowned former Workhorse champion, former Cruiserweight champion in 1CW. And he just can't stay on the defensive for too long right now.
No, he's going to have to make sure that he's on the offensive, but Jacobs
caught him with a beautiful punch.
You're talking about
He's got a draping DDT.
You talk about all the formers right now. Wonder Boy Brian Morris
right into the ring ropes.
Was a former resident of La La Land.
Brian Morris just lighting up Travis Jacobs. Travis Jacobs, the bigger man. Brian Morris is going to have to go full speed for everything that he does if he wants to beat Travis Jacobs.
And look at how aggressive those foot strikes were to Jacobs. He actually almost broke the second turnbuckle and rope right there with the viciousness of those strikes on Jacobs. You talk about him being a pit bull, he went right for it.
Wonder Boy trying to outpower Jacobs, which isn't going to work tonight, at least I don't think. Whips him right into the turnbuckle, taking Wonder Boy for a ride.
Wonder Boy over. Oh, roll through, roll
Quick
through.
cover. Beautiful stack, but only a 2 count.
Jacobs fighting out of that one.
Wonder Boy looks he's pissed off that was only a 2 and not a 3. Jacobs trying to pick him up. Wonder Boy with such tenacity.
And that's what you got to do. You got to go low. You got to make them think you're going to go high and go low. Took Jacobs out at the knees, bringing him down to the mat. And this is where Wonder Boy Brian Morris has the advantage.
Wonder Boy Brian Morris, how is he overpowering Wonder Boy? Tell me the secret of your power.
Hey, listen, it's very simple, really. You get the big man down, and everybody's on an equal playing field.
Quick cover. 3 count.
What a win by the Wonder Boy here.
Guys, just need 4 people working. Gabe, continue.
And here we are with the main event of the world-famous Monster Factory in Paulsboro, New Jersey. The voice of a generation, Pete Rosado with Brian Murphy. And we've got the guarantee, Mike Z, against the world-renowned Nick Batty. And what a main event after a night of incredible action here at the Monster Factory.
And certainly worthy of that position. Mike Z, former arena champion, taking on one of the current tag team champions. Oh, and you can see the charisma radiating off of Mike Z. Do you believe in the guarantee, Pete?
Well, I don't know. After that drop kick, I don't know if anything's a guarantee. And remember, it only takes 3 seconds to win a match. And anybody can beat anybody. On any given day, Mike Z needs to stop with the showboating and get on the attack a lot like what Nick Batty is doing here. Nick Batty on top of Z this entire match. He is unrelenting, possibly why he's one half of the tag team champions.
Absolutely. You saw him going for that ankle lock, taking a little bit of collegiate background there. But, oh, Mike Z able to get back up to his feet.
Well, Z needs, as you see him sucking wind here, Z needs to slow this down because Batty was going about 1,000,000 miles an hour. He was about to break the space-time continuum as fast as he was going, and Z needs to slow this match down. He needs to make it his pace of match if he wants to get the big win here at the main event of the Monster Factory.
Well, of course, he needs to slow it down to showboat a little bit too, a new fascination in his personality. These are not the type of reactions, not the type of tactics we used to see from Mike Z, but he's got versatility.
Cover here by Z, and only a 2. And you got to look at, Z really finding ways to attack Batty right there. You saw in the corner just a little bit earlier, reacted late, couldn't get out of the corner. Batty was on him, and what did he do? Upward chop right to the throat.
You see him, smart strategy here, cutting off a little bit of oxygen to Nick Batty, maybe the faster-paced athlete. Oh, and when he realizes it's not working anymore, he goes to a different strategy.
Well, he's going to have to use a different strategy right now because what he's been using, guarantee Mike Z has been able to slow down. And here we go, shot for shot in the middle of the ring. Oh, there we go, the cutoff there. The beautiful knee right to the gut.
Going through Nick Batty, gaining a little bit of that momentum that Mike Z was dreading. Able to twist him, turn him, all around, caught him though.
Combination offense out of Batty, and he will not be denied. Beautiful side slam cover, and that is it. That is it. Nick Battee with the big victory here in the main event.